Go ahead, Mr. Brock, please.
Mr. Clark, although you have not been sworn or affirmed to tell the truth, every witness that testifies at parliamentary committee is expected to tell the truth. Have you, sir, told the truth to the committee so far?
I have, every word of it.
I have a package of emails from the government, emails from the Chief of Staff to the Assistant Deputy Minister of Trudeau's Minister of Global Affairs, Melanie Jolie. She wrote a summary of the $9 million condo purchase. The email states, and I quote, "Both the Consul General of New York and the head of mission," that's you, Tom Clark, "have been instrumental throughout the process with the head of mission," again, you, Mr. Clark, "providing the green light for the selection of the new residents. It is in writing by the department. Tom Clark, you, sir, was instrumental in the condo purchase on Billionaires Row." So again, Mr. Clark, when did you raise the need for a new residence with the Liberal government?
Mr. Chair, I will repeat, I had no role whatsoever in deciding to sell the old residence, buying the new residence, or its amenities, or its location. That email that you're referring to has a couple of addendums to it that I think are important. Number one, it was corrected. That was a person who was not involved in the process of this. I only became aware of this email less than 48 hours ago. I, too, was taken aback by what was in it because it was simply wrong. It wasn't true.
Mr. Clark, let me stop you right there. I don't believe you. Canadians don't believe you. Are you trying to suggest that a head of mission in any country in the world would be completely shut out, would be completely uninvolved with the acquisition of your own residence? No Canadian believes you, sir. This was not a typo. This was a deliberate, focused sentence regarding your involvement. And the timing, sir, is crucial. The email I referenced was sent out June 17th, 2024. The story of the $9 million condo on Billionaires Row became known to the Canadian public on July the 11th. That was a huge embarrassment to the Canadian government, and I'm sure a huge embarrassment to you, Mr. Clark. Your involvement was documented well before. We have the receipts. The department's pathetic attempt to cover up for you was issued on July 25, after all of the controversy, after all of the pushback from politicians, from Canadians who are struggling to put a roof over their head, who are lined up at food banks, who are starving. People who go to the food banks were actually, donating to the food banks. And you're sitting on Billionaires Row, sipping coffee from a $6,000 coffee machine. You can appreciate how appalling that is to Canadians. So again, sir, I ask for honesty. When did you bring up the need for a new residence?
Mr. Chair, I will repeat once again, and please, if you wish, you can put me under oath on this. I had nothing to do with the decision to sell the old OR. I had nothing to do with the decision to buy the new OR. I had nothing to do with deciding on amenities or its location.
It's funny, Mr. Clark, 19 previous consul generals to New York since 1961 have all enjoyed the lavish amenities, the wonderful location in Midtown Manhattan of the Park Avenue residence until you, sir, were appointed to the position. And within months, sir, of you appointing the position, and within months of Justin Trudeau visiting you and you hanging out in a motorcade in downtown New York with streets closed, all of a sudden, there's a talk about a new residence and a push to get you into Billionaires Row. You said at the outset, you'd rather be in Central Park. Now you're overlooking Central Park. You got your wish, sir.
Mr. Brock, I am not overlooking Central Park.
Okay.
I am
I'm
not
sorry,
in
Mr.
a
Clark.
tower.
I have to interrupt. That is our time. Mr. Brock, please go ahead for 5. And colleagues, just we've only got a couple more interventions, but ask everyone please watch the clocks.
Mr. Clark, I've listened very carefully to your testimony over the last possibly hour and a half. You've stated on numerous occasions repeatedly that you simply had no involvement in the real estate process. But sorry, Mr. Clark, again, I've got proof. I've got more emails. I'm referring now to an email that was sent to both you and your spouse on July the 17th, 2024, requesting permission to visit your official residence with the contracted appraiser. Please advise if time works with you. Your wife responded the same date and said, yes, thanks. And then I also received a previous email indicating that the appraisers had been to your property the previous year, so either the spring or early summer of 2023 when the events unfolded as we have asked you. So they've visited your property on 2 occasions. You were part of that process. Your spouse was part of that process, which really puts a different spin on your stated position numerous times that you simply had no involvement. Now, I want to go back to the 26th of April 2024 when you visited the penthouse, or the condominium, I should say, my apologies, on Billionaires Row. Who showed you the property?
Who showed me the property? It was the real estate agent, a couple of real estate agents, and I went with a couple of people from the mission.
Okay. And I'm sure that in your lifetime, Mr. Clark, you and your spouse have purchased property, personal property?
We have,
Right.
Mr. Chair.
No, sir, sir, this is my time. Sir,
to talk about this, but do not bring my wife into this.
Sir, this is my time. I'm asking you the questions. Thank you. I'm merely referring
point
to
of
an
order,
email.
Chair. Point of order. Point of order.
Sorry, Mr. Brock, we have a point of order. Go ahead.
You know, whether this is a point of order or not, let's have some decorum. The Consul General's here has nothing to do with his family, nothing at all. It's very bad. Come on, let's get better. We're better than that, guys.
Thanks. Continue, Mr. Brock.
Sarah should review the material that his party has received, because clearly Mr. Clark's wife is referenced, and she in fact identifies herself by her first name. I'm not making this up. It's in the documents, Mr. Cervera. So going again, Mr. Clark, you've purchased property in the past probably numerous times with the assistance of real estate agents. They do their best to sell property to you, to highlight all the features of the property to you. Are you suggesting to Canadians that when you toured this Billionaires Row condominium that's right in front of Central Park, that they were completely muted and you simply walked around aimlessly looking at all the features, not asking any questions, and them not highlighting certain features to you? Is that what you want Canadians to believe? Yes or no, Mr. Clark?
Oh, yes.
Wow. Wow. You have found the most inept real estate agent in the entire world. That is fascinating, Mr. Clark. Let me ask you this, Mr. Clark. Are you a golfer? Are you a golfer, sir? Are you a golfer?
Depends who you ask. Depends who you ask.
Okay. Are you a swimmer?
Depends who you ask.
And do you play pickleball?
No. I
Oh.
don't even know what it is.
Well, you've got two 25-meter swimming lanes in your new condominium. You've got a golf simulator. That's every man's dream to have that. That's right in your building, as well as you have paddle courts. Now, was it a requirement, sir, in your role as the Consul General for New York, to have the world's most expensive appliances?
Order, Mr. Chair.
For instance, the stove alone
Mr.
is
Brock.
some
Mr. Brock, sorry. Go ahead on the point of order, please.
I just think Mr. Brock said it's every man's dream to have a golf simulator, and I just want to clarify on the record that it is not my dream.
Okay.
And I'd prefer if you didn't
Colleagues,
misrepresent
could we not descend
people's.
to this? Thanks. Go ahead, Mr. Brock.
So, Mr. Clark, is it a requirement of your position to have a $19,000 oven, a $13,000 refrigerator, a $4,600 coffee maker, an $11,000 freezer? Is that a requirement of your position, sir, or did you ask for that?
Nope.
Enjoy it.
Thanks, Mr.